Hi, my name's Jack, and I'm an alcoholic.
On January 12th, 2020, Jack used drugs and alcohol for the last time. After the terror of yet another spree, Jack began to lose his hope and his sanity. Homeless, desperate, and afraid, Jack finally reached out for help. This is his story.
Before I got treatment for addiction, my life was chaos. Miserable, up and down a lot, no stability. Couldn't keep a job. Selling drugs to, keep my high going, stay with alcohol and stuff like that. It was just unmanageable. It's probably the best word I can use to describe it.
What were you addicted to?
My drug of choice initially was crystal meth, and then I graduated to become just a full-blown alcoholic somewhere around 2009. So I guess alcohol is my drug of choice. That's the last one I had. That's the one I had the most trouble with. Let's put it that way. I've tried a little bit of everything, but alcohol is the one that was hardest for me to kick.
Where did you go to treatment?
Let's see, it took me 7 treatments to get this almost year of sobriety that I have. And I've been to Riverbend 5 times, and I've been to Serenity Park once, and a place in Warren called New Beginnings. I've probably been to detox at the hospital 10 times, psych ward 2 or 3 times, jail visits and all that good stuff. So it's been a long 17-year road. My first trip to treatment was in 2003 at Riverbend, when it was still at where Williamsburg is now.
What did your treatment consist of this time?
Well, having a mental breakdown, going to detox, going to the psych ward, then going to Riverbend, the 30-day inpatient. From there I went to Williamsburg, stayed there for 5 months, and now I'm at where I'm at currently, that's Saved by Grace House.
After you got out of treatment, what did you include in your aftercare plan?
My aftercare plan, well, what I did was when I got to the halfway house, Williamsburg, I basically stayed busy with work. I got a job out of Big Lots, just working just enough to cover my rent each week. And then I found a sponsor, and I would go to meetings when I could, and then I worked steps with my sponsor every week, and then we would just, that's pretty much kind of how it was.
What has your experience in sober housing been like?
In sober housing, my experience has been good. If you use the sober house for what their intended purpose is, then they have a good benefit to you. I mean, you get to meet like people that you probably normally wouldn't mix with, or and they're really beneficial because they can help you achieve the goals that you need to do whenever you're trying to do this thing.
What are some of the obstacles that you've had to overcome since you got sober this time?
Just having to sort life out, I guess, because whenever I was drinking and all that sort of stuff, I just kind of I was a lump. I didn't really care about anything. So now I'm having to feel everything again. I'm having to figure out what life is again. I mean, I haven't been sober since I was like 19, so I'm 39 now. So, I mean, I had to learn who I was all over again, and have to learn how to be responsible and how to live life all over again.
What is the hardest thing that you've had to go through since you got sober this time?
When I first got to the Williamsburg, I was very excited about being able to, I got a job right immediately, and I was finally able to get caught up on rent, and then I got laid off 2 weeks after having the job. So the whole life on life's terms thing hit me right from jump. And I had to learn at that point that I wasn't in control. And it was what I call my higher power, HP. And it was, when I surrendered over to HP, that I learned that by me being willing to do certain things to stay sober, that kind of I don't know, it was carved out for me in a way. Does that make sense?
It does. What are some of those things that you've had to do in order to stay sober?
Well, a lot. I can remember again when I was at the Williamsburg. I would develop a routine. I wouldn't stray far from my routine. I wouldn't go out when everybody else was out, kicking it and all this kind of stuff. I'd stay to myself, and I would read literature. I would talk to my sponsor a lot. I'd find things to occupy my time with that were not, I didn't stray far from home, because I felt like, it might be too risky. I didn't run any unnecessary risks throughout, really, that I could see from when I got sober up until now, and I still don't.
I agree. I did very similar thing, when I first got sober.
There's lots of stuff I'd like to be doing, but I just don't, because I don't want to. I mean, I don't run any risks with my sobriety. I'm really excited about coming up on a year, which is January 13th. This is the longest I've ever been able to stay sober, like actual sober, like doing it the right way ever. And I don't take any chances.
What's the biggest thing that you've done differently this time than the other times?
Determination, stayed focused, and I worked the program like they said I should, and that's helped. I got a good sponsor that provides great counsel for me anytime I need. I've got friends in recovery that I can call or run ideas behind anytime I need to, and they always seem to help me, like, with my thoughts, like steer them the right way whenever I just, need them to. That helps.
How have family relationships changed since you got sober this time?
Well, when I went to the psych ward this last time in January, I was homeless. I was been kicked out of my grandmother's house, who I was staying with. Nobody would talk to me on the family. Now, I mean, I'm getting invited to Thanksgivings and Christmases, and I'm allowed to go back into the house. And I get to see my son, and my ex-wife brought him down a few months ago, and mom's coming to visit. It's like, it's world differences. They want to be around me. They want to have me back in their life again, and it's almost like, it's almost kind of overwhelming in a good way.
How has God impacted your life since you've got off drugs and alcohol?
I always struggled with the God concept. I was an atheist for the longest time, and then when I got to Riverbend, my counselor was just like, you can work it out any way you want to. But I think when we're in treatment, our brains are so dim, none of that really gets in. And then I just kind of stopped resisting the whole idea.
What advice could you give to other addicts and alcoholics who are afraid to get help?
Who are afraid to get help? I mean, you're just gonna have to go and get the help, because it's so much better. I'm not really sure why anybody would be afraid to get help, because your life only gets better when you do. But you just got to do it, and it can be done. We do recover, and it's worth every bit of it.
Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, as we will be posting more videos like this every week. Thank you, and God bless.